I walk from mirror to mirror, searching for acceptance, the loves that play out in my imagination.
What I describe my parents and how I describe them to my therapist in the best way, and all narcissists really, and this to my greater point of the video, are basically terminators. Now anybody who's seen the movies, you know, they're very popular, and I had said that to my therapist, that my parents are like terminators, in that in the first one, you know, Kyle Reese is sitting there, you can't argue with it, you can't reason with it, it won't stop until it gets what it wants, until it gets its way. And she thought about it, and she came back, this was my therapist in New Jersey, she came back to me the next week, and she's like, you know, I was asking my son, and she brought, because our son was more familiar, and he's like, well, that's not true, really, because terminators are learning computers, so they would learn. But if you know the movies, you know, yeah, they're learning computers, these terminators, but they only learn for what they're programmed to do, in that you have the terminators that were sent back by the machines. Yes, they learn, but they only learn in order to obtain their programmed objective, is it to destroy. Whereas the Terminator that was turned over, sent back by the humans, learns to protect. And that's the way narcissists are. They're only programmed to obtain their own objectives. They are incapable of learning empathy or reason. You can't argue with a narcissist. You can't reason with a narcissist. A narcissist doesn't stop. It won't stop coming until you either remove yourself from the situation, or till that narcissist no longer is on the earth anymore, until that narcissist dies. Which usually, when you talk to people, to narcissist abuse survivors whose parents who the abuser has then died, it's a closure at that point, but then it's a different set of circumstances. And whether you're no contact at this juncture, and you know the holidays are always tough. This is my 5th year completely removed from my family. And you always have to keep in mind of what the narcissist is. That the narcissist only exists to obtain its own objectives, to satisfy its own needs, because there's something wired wrong in their heads. And they don't stop. And they will manipulate, and they will keep coming at you and coming at you and coming at you. And they'll use whatever method they can to obtain their objective. And their objective is always about control. It's about abuse. It's about getting their way. And remember, even if you're not no contact, even if you're low contact, and you're going to have contact with these people, remember what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a machine that they don't stop. It's tough. I'm not going to sit here and lie at the holidays. It's tough to feel like you're an outcast. But what's your alternative? Because that narcissist is there. It's planning. It's planning. It's conniving. It's talking behind your back. It's always on its objective to get that control. Okay? If the narcissist hasn't obtained its objective, it is impossible for it to shut down, because they're going to incorporate other people. It's always an angle. It's always an angle. So think about that if you're even low contact and you're going to have any contact with the narcissist, your narcissist or your abuser. This is what's playing. You might as well be playing this in your head, because that's what's playing in their head. There's a reason why you can't reason with these people. They're often like Never Neverland. You can make every point crystal clear, and it's in one. It's like they get that glazed over look, and it's like but, because that's all they're programmed to do. And it's sad. But you're not going to be able to argue with these people. You can't reason with these people. And it's a shame. Hey, this is a tough one for me, this video. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I miss my daughter terribly. Terribly. I gotta be here for when she breaks away from these people. Because these machines, because they are machines, can't even look at them as people. They're machines because they're only out for themselves, and they will never, ever stop. They have no empathy. They have no remorse. They have no reasoning skills. All they have is, I want my way. Period. For those of you who are no contact and, having a hard time this holiday, you're not alone. It sucks. It sucks. For those of you who are going to be low contact, seeing these people in your life, just have your guard up. And be careful, because remember, they're always, always, always in search and destroy mode until they reach their objective. Our abusers are terminators. They might as well be.
They're putting on the mask for not only their relationships, their friendships, so-called friendships, all these fake relations they have with everyone. Their family also, they're again putting on a mask for their family members. So a lot of times, obviously, their family members know them and see out through all their BS, but the narcissist still continues to lie anyway, because that's just what they are. They're chronic, pathological liars. So you can't ever get the truth out of this guy or this girl or whoever you're dating. So there really is, that alone is the basis for no relationship with them. I mean, that alone creates nothing. I mean, even if a person stays with a narcissist for a year or a couple years or whatever, or even gets married to them, the fact that the narcissist itself, I want to call it itself because it's almost like an it. It's not even like a she or he. It's a creature, then like a demon or whatever.
A narcissist is a life-destroying psychopath. As immature as they are deadly, these abusers charm and lie their way into your life with the sole purpose of hurting you. They intend to take from you and give only sorrow and pain in return. They go from being your most trusted friend and lover to your most bitter enemy.
In the manifestation of their narcissism, female and male narcissists inevitably do tend to differ. They emphasize different things. They transform different elements of their personalities and of their lives into the cornerstones of their disorder. Women, for instance, concentrate on their body. Many also suffer eating disorders. Women flaunt and exploit their physical charms, their sexuality, their socially and culturally determined femininity. They secure the narcissistic supply through their more traditional gender role, the home, children, suitable careers, their husbands, their feminine traits, their roles in society, etc., etc. It is no wonder that narcissists, both men and women, are chauvinistic and conservative. They depend to such an extent on the opinions of people around them that with time they are transformed into ultra-sensitive seismographs of public opinion, barometers of prevailing social fashions, and guardians of conformity. The narcissist cannot afford to seriously alienate his constituency, the people who reflect his false self back at him. The very proper and ongoing functioning of the narcissist's personality depends on the goodwill and on the collaboration of his human environment. It is true that besieged and consumed by pernicious guilt feelings, many narcissists finally seek to be punished. The self-destructive narcissist then plays the role of the bad guy or bad girl. But even then it is within the traditional socially allocated roles. To ensure social opprobrium, in other words, attention, the narcissist exaggerates these roles of bad girl and bad guy to a caricature. A woman is likely to label herself a whore, and a male narcissist to self-style himself a vicious, unrepentant criminal. Yet these again are actually traditional social roles. Men are likely to emphasize intellect, power, aggression, money, or social status. Women are likely to emphasize body, looks, charm, sexuality, feminine traits, homemaking, children, and child rearing, even as they seek their masochistic punishment.
Connections are not connecting up there. Do not, I have to tell so many of you that you can't, I know you take it to heart because I'm going to assume or hope that all you guys are good and, caring, empathetic, not overly selfish people, and you don't understand this kind of thing, but the wires are crossed with narcissists, and you're not going to uncross them. It's probably not going to happen.
When you encounter a covert narcissist, this has actually happened to me a few times, because if you confront the covert narcissist about their narcissism, about their facade, about their duplicity, they will get really angry. I promise you that. I recommend that if you're in a relationship with a covert narcissist, it's best to just cut your losses and move on. If you out them, if you uncover their true narcissistic tendencies, you are likely to be at risk, personally, emotionally, financially. These are narcissists. Remember, when you cross them and you take away their livelihood, when you expose them, they will do anything they can to keep where they are professionally, personally, and financially, even if it's at the expense of a child and a spouse. So be warned that sometimes people who are kind and giving, altruistic, may be faking. Probably the best way to determine if someone is a covert narcissist is to confront them, is to give them constructive feedback. Because narcissists typically will get very angry and defensive when you suggest that they're doing something wrong or they've done something hurtful. In fact, sometimes they fly off the handle and get enraged and aggressive. Some get passive-aggressive, tricky and sneaky. But if you are in a relationship with a covert narcissist who seems too good to be true, try this. Say, hey, I have to give you some feedback about something you're doing wrong, and I'm hoping that you can take care of that. And what will happen immediately is something will click in the covert narcissist. You'll see something in their eyes, in their facial expression, and you'll know you triggered what we call a narcissistic injury. The covert narcissist will get mad and angry. But because they're adept at hiding their true self, they will come up with a plan in how to hurt you, how to defend themselves, how to take away your credibility. Or they just might become offensive, aggressive, and try to control you by using manipulative strategies and psychological techniques to make you believe that you are wrong in your judgment and that you should apologize for your negative feedback.
From tricking people. And tonight's show has to do with the tempting and the tricking and the trapping of unsuspecting souls who obviously attracted what they thought at the time in the early part of the relationship was a loving, caring, wonderful person. The narcissist is a false self. They have constructed a false self that they portray and convey as a very loving, giving, awesome person that has targeted you specifically and probably has been studying you for a while because they need a source of supply. A narcissist interacts with people for just a couple of reasons, really. One, to offload their tormented inner self, to have a person to hurt. And they offload that tormented inner self by hurting that target, that love partner, who at the time, of course, in the courtship, believes that they are encountering their soulmate, because the narcissist is a pathological liar and rather amazingly, stunningly, astonishingly gifted at lying. In fact, if a narcissist is speaking, if they're moving their lips, chances are they're lying about something. You almost have to assume they're lying until it can be proven otherwise. That's how bad it is. That's how skilled they are in lying and manipulation. If you find yourself in an abusive relationship where you begin to feel you are the problem, you are probably with a narcissist. Narcissists target very well-meaning, loving, kind people with big hearts, people that are not quitters, people that are highly capable individuals, because the narcissist knows that they can count on you to clean up their messes. And narcissists create problems on the daily. They create drama and crisis on the daily, all the time. We never know what they're going to do next, what pain's going to come next. We know what's going to hurt. We just don't know how bad. That was my whole childhood, really. And it certainly was my experience with my love partner, Narcissist. She had a job as a caretaker, as a healthcare professional. And it was very adept at making people believe that she was this wonderful, caring person, but behind closed doors, to me and all the other victims that she's left in her wake, quite a different story. Vicious, abusive, verbally abusive, manipulative, doing anything she could to try to undermine my life, my very being, right? And a lot of times narcissists, psychopaths will do that by projecting, which basically means they will accuse you of doing the things that they're doing or that they are guilty of. They will call you so if you have like your love partner, right, calling you names or accusing you of things, like calling you a liar or saying you're lazy or saying or trying to get you to always prove your love to them, that is your cue to get the hell out of Dodge and leave that relationship as soon as you possibly can. You are with a narcissist, and there is no happy ending but getting away from one. And if you have kids, that can be done too. Check out Melanie Tanya Evans' website for more information on that. But understand that you deserve better in life. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to explore things in this lifetime that make you happy. You deserve to pursue whatever interests bring you joy. You deserve to embrace your preferences in life, not someone else's, but yours. A narcissist is very good at pulling us out of our lives and out of ourself and latching onto and putting our attention onto the narcissist, because they are forever causing us problems or causing problems that we have to try to fix. A common tactic that narcs will use is they will bring up to you your weaknesses that you shared with them in confidence and in total trust during the courtship phase. Who, at the time you thought you were giving your heart to your soulmate, you were actually giving your heart to a meat grinder. You were giving your heart to a savage who has no intention but slaughtering your heart on the daily. A narc does not have their own inner light to draw from, so they target people with light who are connected to that higher power, that higher source, God, if you will, as I'm wont of saying quite often, your guardian angel, your guiding light, your heavenly Father, if you will. Some people want to go there. I always say universe because it kind of takes the baggage of religion out of the equation, which I think is always a healthy thing, honestly. We're all in this journey, all at different places in our journey, and at some point in our life, some things make sense to us. Reading tarot cards might make sense to some people, and it might feel like it gives them guidance. Shaman, alternate religions, and some people mind-altering drugs. I mean, there's a lot of ways to come to a higher awareness in life. And of course, I'm always for the ones that don't hurt anyone, me or anyone else. Sadly, sometimes the only way that we can achieve a higher realm of being and awareness and more peace, love, and joy is by letting go of old belief systems that are holding us back or holding us captive. One of those belief systems is responsible, I believe, for attracting most narcs into most people's lives, and that is the belief, and it's a false belief, that other people complete me, that other people bring me joy, that I can only find completeness and fulfillment in my other half or my soulmate or who I'm destined to be with. And that's exactly what the narc preys on and presents themselves as to you when they introduce themselves into your life. The truth is, you complete you. The truth is, you are already all that you need to be to bring you joy and happiness. The fact that we get away from that and are sold a bill of goods, if you will, we are taught by society and movies and songs and popular anything that only through other people can we gain lasting significance or peace, or feel that real love for someone, and it's the only way we can feel love inside. Your love has to start inside you. A. B. Other people can add to your positive experiences in life, but man, it all starts with us. We create our outer world by what we create inside of us. It's an energetic thing, really, honestly. And it's not too terribly great a stretch when you realize we are made of glowing atoms, right? I know I'm sounding cosmic right now. I'm just stating scientific fact. And I love science. I champion science for lots of reasons. One of the reasons is it can be proven and quantified. Some of the more spiritual aspects of life can be a little tricky and require a lot of wiggle room to fit that on and have it make sense to us. But understand that the attraction that goes on with your unhealed parts, those false belief systems, maybe pain that you've been hanging on to since childhood, or some experience you've had, that is drawing these bad people into your life, people who also have unhealed parts. And there is no greater individual with unhealed parts and unresolved problems than the psychopath known as the narcissist. You have a choice in life to allow yourself to be bullied by anyone or anything, which I completely am against, obviously, for obvious reasons. And yet, or two, being true to yourself, living a life of love and genuineness and authenticity, filled with good people who only add to your life and life experience and they don't take away from it. If you find that you have gotten away from a happy life, you can be happy again. You can let go of the abusive relationship you may currently be in, and for maybe the first time in your life, start anew. Give yourself a new beginning, and whatever it might be. A great way to start getting back in touch with you is by getting in touch with your talents. That's one of the reasons why I'm teaching the voiceover courses and why I'm also a voice coach. Through those and other venues, I'm able to pull out of people the best that's in them. I help them become a better communicator. I help you get in touch with your true desires of what you really want to see happen in your life, and get you in touch with your better self, if you will. And by doing so, you communicate better, and by doing that, you bring better things into your life. Often we don't communicate what we want. We speak what we don't want, and that's why we keep getting it. The universe doesn't really pay much attention to anything other than what we expect to have happen in our life and what we speak, and obviously the actions we take. So if you are constantly finding yourself attracting bad people, you need to look at what you are doing inside you, what you are living and believing and thinking and expecting. A narcissist will tempt you by presenting themselves as this false person, this wonderful person who you fall in love with. And obviously when they realize you have fallen in love with them and they have you, they've secured that source of supply for them, they show the true colors. The mask slips, and the true horrible person that they really are becomes more and more evident with each passing day. Sometimes so horrible that the love partner commits suicide because they know of no other way to cope with the pain and the horror and torture that only a narcissist, a psychopath, that brand of psychopathy can bring. They trick you by pretending to be everything that you need or you say that you've needed during the courtship phase. If you've suffered a terrible loss, maybe a horrible breakup, maybe someone significant to you died, maybe you've lost a job, they will be that shoulder you can lean on, that chest you can rest your head on, that knight in shining armor, literally, just to make sure that they secure you as a source of supply and that target that they can hurt and mine all the resources from, whether it's money or attention or, like I said, the abuse. A narcissist does not think like normal people. They have literally fried their neuron pathways to the point where they look at people as objects to be conquered, used, abused, and mined. They
is there, again, like a sociopath, to just extract and exploit the weaknesses of others and to prey on people, so for attention and supply and sex and money and all that other stuff. So the bottom line is, I mean, you're not having a relationship or any kind of relation with this person. The only kind of relations going on between the narcissist and another person is what the narcissist can get out of the other person, how they can use and in what ways they can use the other person. So that's really all that it is, all that it boils down to with a narcissist. So you have to realize, take a step back if you know a person like a narcissist or a sociopath, or they're in your family or your life, and say, what am I really getting out of this? And if you really think about it, you'll really hit home with that and understand you're not getting anything out of it. The only thing you're getting is grief, misery, pain, annoyance. You're losing. It's a lose-lose situation for you, for them. It's a win-win situation because they employ all kinds of manipulative tactics on you and everyone. They guilt. They try to get you to feel sympathy and sorry for them. But at the same time, they're not willing to give you any of that. Oh no. You could be married to a narcissist or in a so-called serious relationship with them, and the second something happens to you, heaven forbid, the narcissist will be out the door. They will be just having the time of their lives while you're sitting at home suffering with like the kid or whatever happens. I know there's a lot of really unfortunate cases where, a person has kids with a narcissist and the narcissist abuses the kids too, or doesn't take care of them, which is usually what happens. So it's really difficult for anyone in a situation with a narcissist or who is not able to get out of it for like financial reasons and things like that. That's really unfortunate. But for those of you that can, who don't have that kind of ties with them as far as kids or marriage or whatever, just take a step back and say, what am I really getting out of this? And I'm sure that you really won't find anything positive that you're getting out of even talking to this person.
But those involved in the pageant world say this is all really very misunderstood, and it really just teaches kids poise and confidence. So joining us tonight are 5-year-old beauty pageant vet Talia DeLise, who's been featured in Toddlers and Tiaras, as well as the winner, I guess, of California Tropics pageants. California Tropics pageants. Did you know that? Yes. And Marcy DeLise, her mother, who is a firm believer in the value of the pageants. And Marcy, I'll start with you.
Okay.
I understand that you think that it teaches poise, you think that it teaches stage presence, but when you see the video that we just looked at, do you see poise or do you see sexploitation?
That video just looked like people kind of dressing up for Halloween costumes.
But Marcy, these are 4-year-olds, they're 5-year-olds. They don't understand who they're looking like.
Well, I personally wouldn't put my daughter in that. I think I put her in age-appropriate things. So, and for her to go on stage, she needs to know the character that she's portraying on the stage. So, would I put her in Julia Roberts' Pretty Woman? No.
But you think it's okay, for Kalia to see herself, as she's without a doubt doing, as someone much, much older than a 5-year-old. Someone more like a young adult.
You know what? She hasn't really, as you can tell, not acting like a young adult tonight.
No, that's fine.
She's acting like a 5-year-old, but on the stage, you know, it's just like with any other dancers that go on stage. I mean, she's growing up in the entertainment world.
Okay. Kalia? Hey. Hi. What do you like to do best? What makes you happiest to do?
I don't know.
No, really. What do you like to... What makes you happiest? Do you like being on stage with all the makeup?
Yes.
Do you like it more than playing out on the playground with other girls and boys?
Yes.
Why? Look at me. Why?
I don't know.
You don't know? It's okay, Marcy. We still have your microphone on you? I know,
Yes.
the clip fell, but the mic's still there. You don't know, huh?
Yeah, I don't
When is...
know.
Hey, Kalia.
Kalia, please look at Mr. Young.
When is mommy really happy with you? What makes mommy happy?
I don't know.
Okay. I get that. Mom, I mean, do you understand what psychologists say? That many psychologists think that this is really more about you than it is about her. That really it's mom trying to get what she didn't become out through her daughter and hope that she does become something.
You know, for us, no. I mean, I was an XFL cheerleader. I was a magician's assistant. You know, my husband has worked in the shows for many years.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, it just kind of goes with the territory. So Kalia, she likes to perform on the stage. And it's
Or she sure does.
Yes, she does.
Mm-hmm.
And she likes to do talent. I mean, she likes to do it all. So, I mean, for those critics, they have children that are in the pageants, now do they?
But they also say, and this is, and they also say that Kalia is learning to grow up with excessive attention, and when that attention finally goes away, she won't know what to do. That depression follows that there are a lot of disorders that can follow that because she gets so much attention now.
She's always had attention.
Yes,
so,
that's the issue, they say, too much.
I don't think there's ever too much attention that a child can have.
Okay.
So, I mean, she's had, 2 older brothers that have been in it.
Okay.
And
would you put her back, I gotta go, but would you put her back on toddlers and tiaras if they asked you?
in a very positive sense, yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Marcy and Kalia. Did you have fun? Looked like it.
I'm staying over a friend's house, having a sleepover, and we had snuck out. And his mother was a real piece of work too. You know, they had their issues. But it was me and a couple of my friends, and I was about 14 at the time. And this mother lets the cat out of the bag in front of my other friends that my parents were into gangbangs, that they had this gangbang in town with these other friends that I knew they hung out with. And she had found out from another set of friends that was there, and they got so offended, they left. And now I'm listening to graphic details of what went on at this sex party in these people's pool, and then it ended up down on the Little League field, on the baseball. At 14, I already got problems. I mean, I already got problems. I don't need this. But now it's coming. So that gets out, and once again, you know, you're a laughing stock, and you think that's as bad as it can get. You think that's as bad as it can get, till one day you're babysitting your brother, okay, and your parents say, watch TV in our room, watch a movie or something, and you hit play on the VCR, and you see the party that you were told about maybe a couple months earlier. And it's exactly how you envisioned it in your head. There's the pool, and it was... I think my brother blocked it out. He remembers it, but he can't remember it specifically. That thing, for the 10 seconds it was there, seared in your memory. Seared in your memory. And, you know, at 17, I make the mistake of letting one of my buddies in the house, and not even realizing still at the time, this is when I realized, he's like, dude, is that your mom on the refrigerator? And here I am, I'm 17, and I'm like, holy shit. Holy shit. How fucked up am I? And I got some ball breaking over that too. But at that point, I was 17. I could kind of handle myself. That was a little, you know, more between friends at that point. You know, you're dealing with getting abused yourself, getting called names, and then this overt sexuality of your parents, where your father's got inappropriate material all over the place, your mother's half naked on the refrigerator, literally in garters and black lace, and it is just, I just never looked at it. And it's just like, I didn't really even realize how messed up it was at the time and what it was doing to me. You know, you reach into the freezer and you pull out a fucking iced dick. As a teenage boy. And you got 2 young sons. And I talked about my grandfather being a pervert. And he is. And he's a real pervert too. I mean, I caught him staring at my cousin Kristen, his granddaughter, like a piece of meat. And he's like, and he was in his 80s at the time. And it was disgusting. And I know she caught him. And I saw her like had a cover. And I'm like, what is this? What causes this? And I remember at my engagement party when my parent had an engagement party at my parents' house when we got engaged, and that's my father's father on that side, the one doing that. On my mother's side, I got her mother, my narcissistic grandmother, who was literally the devil himself. That person was the devil. I have no doubt about it. When she died, the earth downpoured for the worst torrential rain you've ever seen in your life for 6 straight days. Literally, for 6 straight days, you've never seen rain like this before in New Jersey. Okay? The devil can take many different bodies. Okay, and can occupy multiple bodies at the same time. And I have no doubt that was the devil. I could feel it. It was evil. It was nothing but evil. But she was also another sexual deviant. We had found, after she died, we had found her journals detailing all her sexcapades. And it was graphic, and then she had all these codes that she thought it was nuts. And as we're going through her room, I find her handcuffs. This is what I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with one grandfather, I'm finding his porn stash. My grandmother on the other side, I'm finding handcuffs, her sex blog, sex journal. So I'm at my engagement party, and there was always these sex comments going on between my mother's mother and my father's father for as long as I can remember. And again, this is normal for me. So now I got my mother touching my dick. She's in lingerie on the refrigerator. There's ice dildos in the freezer. My father's got friggin' Playboys and Penthouse all over the place. The whole town knows that they're friggin' sexual deviants, banging people on the Little League field diamond, swapping with their friends. Okay? I got my grandfather's porn collection, my grandmother's handcuffs. So we're at this engagement party, and my grandfather, after all these years' attention, so Virginia, you got something on your boob there. Maybe I should get it off. And right at the fucking dinner table, my grandmother's there like this with her fucking old lady titties she's 75 at the time. Oh, help yourself out. I'm just finally yelled out, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? And they're looking back at me like I'm the asshole. What the fuck's your problem? I don't know. It's an engagement party. I realize I hate this bitch I'm about to marry. And I know that's the wrong move also at the time. Okay, but could I at least, throw myself off the cliff in peace without having to be traumatized on the way down every step of the way? That I gotta have my 2 grandparents, eye banging each other over the fucking dinner table? Couldn't catch a break. These narcissists, they don't come out of nowhere. They're bred. They're bred. Years upon years upon years upon, it's passed down from generation to generation.
I don't feel like my narcissism is out of control. I feel like I can just be myself. I think being a narcissist is okay because it's all about yourself, and that's something everyone should strive for. I've had really bad luck, and I end up having 7 abortions. Do not want to be one of those people that move in with my parents with my kid.
When I think about Corinne having 7 abortions, I feel like I failed.
I had 2 late-term abortions. I was about 5 months pregnant.
We even named the baby.
There was no way I could have taken care of that child. No way. I would rather keep my current lifestyle instead of having a child. With the 7th abortion, I Facebooked. I adore myself.
It's not okay. Nobody could be okay and do that.
I'm sorry that the pregnancies didn't work out, but I have no regrets about the abortion.
Well, we're talking with Shauna and her daughter, who has been very candid about why she's terminated so many pregnancies. Now, did I hear you say you had a problem with that video as well?
It is what it is. Can't change it. It's TV.
That was you in the video. Those were your words.
There were my words that were at points misconstrued, cut, and then edited and pasted. At some points, I will own up to the majority of that.
Well, so
okay?
whatever
the way
was
certain things look bad, like the I adore
whatever
myself.
was misconstrued, please
Let's start with the I adore
reconstrue it now.
myself. Now, when I did have my 7th abortion,
That was the 6th one, by the way.
yeah, no, it was the 7th, I think. So it was like my whatever abortion, and I said I adore myself. No one knew I was pregnant on Facebook. I'm not publicizing, hey, I'm going to go have a kid.
I did.
You did after I said I adore myself, and you blasted all over Facebook about how I'm a person.
Yeah, I did.
But no one on Facebook knew I was pregnant until you said something. I mean, I was embarrassed. I didn't want to sit there and go, oh, I'm having another abortion, people.
Why would you write that in the first place? The whole point is, why would you even say that? You should be mourning, you should be upset, you shouldn't be at home going, yeah, I just got this done, I adore myself. That is what I find upsetting.
Because my Facebook is not... My Facebook is not dedicated to you, Mother. My Facebook is like what I'd like to say and what I'd like people to know. I said I adore myself, and I just left it at that. And I know you got frustrated, I know you got angry, and I didn't mean it to piss anybody off who knew that I was having an abortion. But to the rest of the public, they didn't know. So I wanted to keep it that way. I didn't think it was wrong. I wasn't saying it in a way because I adore myself because I got another abortion. You're going to cut that right.
Can I ask you a couple questions? We're going to cut what?
That abortion. You're going to cut that with seeing great, I'm sure. They're from your peoples. I had another abortion. Let's do one more. That's a good one. That's a keeper. Because, I mean, Dave, come on. Whew. Let's go. It's public TV. We'll go all the way.